members of kingdom fungi, they are primarily cosmopolitan in existence. Cosmopolitan means they are found in almost all kinds of habitats, all places that you can find the members of fungi. But they prefer, what they prefer is damp and warm conditions. Where there is moisture and the temperature is bit on the higher side, the fungi will proliferate. Regarding the modes of nutrition, we all know that all fungus are decomposers. They are decomposers and they are saprophytes. They depend on dead and decaying organic matter for their nutrition. They will secrete certain chemicals, secrete certain enzymes and decompose the complex. They will decompose the complex organic matter to simple products, and then these simple products are assimilated. So this is regarding the mode of nutrition primarily. But fungus, they are also, besides being saprophytic, they can also be parasitic. They are on the wheat, on the plants of wheat, you will find fungus as rust, growing as smut. Also on the mustard plants, the leaves of the mustard plants, you will, if you observe those infected with fungus, the mustard leaves are slightly white on the top. So this is because of the parasitic fungus growing on the mustard leaves. The fungus, besides being saprophytic, besides being parasitic, it is also found as symbiosis, in symbiosis associations. Symbiosis means it is living in association with some other algae, it might be a root of the plant, some other living organism, and they are mutually beneficial to each other. So this symbiosis is also called commensalism. Commensalism. For example, in lichen. Lichen is a very good example which you will find growing on the trees or on the damp surfaces like the walls or on the bricks. Lichen is commonly observed in rainy season especially. So this, it is like a structure is like this and it is greenish in color. So lichen is a combination of algae and a fungus. The algae being autotrophic, they will make the food, and this food is obtained by the fungus, and the fungus in turn gives protection to the algae. So the algal component is called phycobiont, and the fungal component is called mycobiont. So the phycobiont and the mycobiont, they both are actually the lichen. They form the lichen. Phycobiont and mycobiont. Another example of symbiosis is mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza. In mycorrhiza, the fungus is present in association with the roots of higher plants. Here the fungus will absorb the nutrients. The most of the nutrients that are absorbed by the plant, water and the nutrients, the fungus will help to supplement so that more and more nutrition reaches the plant. So mycorrhiza of the fungus is helping the roots. So we came to know about the saprophytes, the fungus. They are all saprophytes. Some of them are also parasitic, some of them are symbiotic. Now coming to the uses, the common uses of fungus. These fungus, they are natural scavengers when they are acting as decomposers. Some of the fungus, they can all, when they are in symbiotic association also, they are beneficial here to the plant with which they are symbiotic. The fungus, some of the fungus like the yeast is very much beneficial to the bakers, and it is called as the baker's yeast. So they help in the brewing of beer, they help in the bread industry, in the fermentation. The yeast, which is a fungus, is very helpful. Beer industry, bread industry. Also the fungus, they are helpful in making some antibiotics. For example, penicillin. Penicillin is a fungus from which the antibiotic penicillium is obtained. Besides this, the fungus, they are mostly parasitic. They are not of these parasitic examples we'll be studying in detail when we come to the classification. Now we start with the classifying these fungus. They can be classified on the basis of their morphology and their physiology. The fungus, they are all physiologically, if you see from outside, all of the fungus, they consist of hyphae. Hyphae is a filament like structure, and several hyphae, they are found together, and this structure is called mycelium. This mycelium, this is the structure of all the fungus except yeast. Yeast is the only fungus with a slightly different structure. So these hyphae, inside, if you look inside them, sometimes some of them are without any cross walls or septa, and some of the hyphae, they are having septa in them, and all the hyphae are multinucleate. This because it has no cross wall, so this structure is called cenocytic. And the fungi which has cenocytic hyphae is called, example of these fungi are Rhizopus, Mucor and Albugo. And the phylum having this cenocytic hyphae, the phylum is Phycomycetes. So this is the one phylum of the kingdom fungi, of kingdom fungi. So they have cenocytic hyphae which appear as multinucleate. These are the examples. Now coming to these hyphae which are septate. So they have septa or cross walls, so they are called septate, and each of these partitions, they have one nuclei in them. One single nuclei in them. Now this division is most common. These type of fungi are most common, and they can be classified into these Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Deuteromycetes. So first was the Phycomycetes with cenocytic hyphae. The septate hyphae, this part of the kingdom has Ascomycetes. They are septate, but the difference in between them lies because of in the basis of their sexual reproduction or the asexual reproduction, the kind of spores, the kind of fruiting bodies. So on the basis of these, they have been classified. The example of Ascomycetes is yeast. All of them are multicellular, and yeast, and this is very, very important, yeast is the only one that is unicellular. Rest all of them, all the examples that will come are multicellular. The yeast and the penicillin, the albugo, sorry, this is not albugo, the yeast, the penicillin, the claviceps, neurospora, and some are commonly called morels, buffles. So these all come under Ascomycetes. The yeast is the same as was used by the baker for the brewing industry, in the beer and making industry. The penicillin, we have learned earlier, helpful in making the antibiotic penicillin. The neurospora is of very much importance to biotechnologists. They are helpful in some genetics mapping. Morels and buffels, they are eaten, they are edible, and they are delicacies. Now coming to Basidiomycetes, the examples of Basidiomycetes are Agaricus, Ustilago, and Puccinia. So these members of the Basidiomycetes, they form a fruit. In them, the sexual reproduction is the primary mode. The asexual reproduction is only by fragmentation. And these are the ones that causing the rust and the smut diseases on wheat, the parasitic varieties. Now coming to Deuteromycetes, the examples are Colico, Trichum, Alternaria, and Trichoderma. So these are the examples of Deuteromycetes, and this Deuteromycetes is mainly responsible for decomposing all our litter. For example, for mainly the leaves, decomposing the leaves, the Deuteromycetes. So these were all the class. This was regarding the classification, and now in the next class we'll be studying one by one. We'll take all these classes of the kingdom fungi.